Discipline, Sean, or maybe the lack thereof it, has done nothing but kick me in the Nicki Minaj's cousin's uncle.
Yeah, well, that does it to everybody. That's the big thing with betting. You got to have it.
I know yesterday I was saying, hey, these things are off of my board. I don't like the under. They moved. Thank you for the Tampa Bay. Yeah,
Hey.
No problem. Oh, you're going to give it to Sean.
Yeah, I'm the one that I took the giving up the run and a half. Hey, at least I can help somebody out, Have more losers than winners, but Drew took the winner. That's
Well, I had the winner too. I put it in my parlay, right? With the Houston didn't burn that parlay. They just smoked Texas last night. So that was a good one.
Yeah,
and the money management worked out well because I just put $10 on the two losers and 20 on the winner and managed to turn a profit. But the reality is I shouldn't have put any money whatsoever on the total because when it moved that half a point or so down, it was totally out of my range. It was out of my range at 41 by about a half a point. So I just kind of fudged it up a half. Going forward, I might have less ideas, but I'm going to be disciplined, Sean. I mean it this time.
Yeah, well, that was unbelievable. Who would have thought that game would have been a shootout? And how good does I know Denver's going to have a good defense this year, a great defense. How good does that look now that they just completely shut the Giants down at home? And Washington, who has a good defense too, the Giants put up a lot of points and yards.
I just feel like that first Thursday night, probably the next Thursday night, players, especially now, they don't really practice as much as they used to. They don't have preseason like they did before. They got 2 weeks off, so they went to Hawaii and to Cabo and, did all the things that you do on vacation. And then they come back and play. So that first Thursday night game, as I sent to you in a text yesterday, man, those guys' legs had to be sore. They had to be tired. And, it's much easier, as I mentioned, to push than it is to pull. Offensive players push. Defensive players pull. It doesn't surprise me that they scored a lot of points yesterday.
Yeah, and I'm just glad neither one of us had the Giants money line there. I mean, guy jumping off sides. What are you doing?
Well, they have some videos out now on Twitter, and if you look at it, it's a really good angle. The center's hands move before the guy from the Giants does.
Oh,
so it probably really wasn't offsides. It was just that the ref really can't see that angle, right?
Right.
But when they showed him, his hands went like this to snap the ball, and he moved. So the Giants fans should be kind of salty about that one, and anybody who was long the Giants is kind of salty. So I wonder if maybe they got that mythical phone call from Vegas, make them kick it again.
Yeah, that Giants covered the spread either way. I was worried about that hook, which didn't even worry about that. They won by. You were right. You said Washington's going to win the game, but not cover the spread, basically. So
yeah, I should just stick with the power ranking sheet and to hell with the totals. So I did good on the totals the first week.
And that's hard to do with 3.5 to say, hey, one team's going to win, but they're not going to win by more than 3.5. You have a small window there, and it was right in there. Got
it right, baby. But I didn't play it, so I didn't get it right. Right? Completely stupid. Well, my nemesis is where we're going to start today, Sean. And that's college football. No matter if I pick a team, you can pretty much guarantee they're going to get blown out. I mean, that's pretty much how it's been. And tonight there's 2 college football games. Unfortunately, if you're back in UFC or you're back in Louisville or if you're back in Maryland or you're back in Illinois, you have hope because I am going to be disciplined, as I mentioned already before, and I'm just going to stay the bleep away.
So I like both favorites here. Louisville couldn't stop Ole Miss. Central Florida's kind of got this similar offense, fast-paced, good quarterback in Dylan Gabriel. Central Florida's going to put up a ton of points. Concerned about the 7 points. I'm concerned about the 7 points actually at both lines, even though I think the favorite would be the way to go. I'm just going to put the 2 favorites together in a parlay.
Crazy.
Because I think they're both going to win.
Are you trying to lose? I mean, is that the goal?
And I'm still going to get a negative line, but I'm telling you both.
So you're going to put so you're just going to money line them? Is that
money line them? Yep. Like
so
I said,
let me get this straight. You're going to money line 2 teams, and in money lining 2 teams, you're still in a parlay. You're still going to get a negative line.
And minus 118. But I would feel more confident about that than some other games that we play at minus 118.
Well, I don't feel confident about the Maryland-Illinois game at all about which team's going to win that game, and apparently neither do bettors because, I mean, most of the money is on Maryland at the minus 7.5. I mean, most of the bets, but it's 50-50 just about on the money. And the Louisville side, everybody's, I guess read the same article that you did, and they talk about how the offense is similar to Ole Miss because everybody's just pushing their money all in on UCF against Louisville. I think that's probably the right side of the bet too. Almost 85 cents on the dollar is there, but two teams both have to win college football, and one is on the road. They're both on the road, and you don't think one home team can fight the other one?
Like I said, Louisville's not going to stop Central Florida. Maryland's starting quarterback's Tua's brother, and he's actually really good.
Tua was really good in college too.
Yeah, well, that's all we're playing tonight is college. Illinois.
If you were really good, will you be at Maryland?
Yeah, he is really good though. Watch him tonight; he's good. Illinois does get their starting quarterback back, and they did beat Illinois with Nebraska with them, and Nebraska's looked okay the last couple of weeks now. So, but Illinois' defense isn't going to stop Maryland. So
Illinois' defense isn't going to stop Maryland, huh? Drew says he's all over Maryland -7. He's with you, Sean. So this time it's his turn for you to give thanks the next time we come together.
Yeah, well, see, I'm just concerned, like you said, about the road team. I am concerned about giving them.
Well, I try to talk you out of it, Sean. So you should be very positive that you're going to win because if I feel like Illinois has got a chance to cover, they're going to get steamrolled.
And yesterday you said 7.5 or 8, whatever it was at that point, wasn't enough points to give to Illinois. Now you're switching your tune a little bit.
Well, I went through the numbers and did the math, my NCAA football math, which is completely wrong. So yeah. So you're going to do Illinois. You're going to do Maryland. You're going to do UFC for how much? $30 money line.
$30 minus 118.
Okay, if one of them wins, don't say I didn't tell you so.
Okay. So, well, if you had to pick which one, you would take Illinois over Maryland and Louisville.
If I had to take one, I would take UCF over Louisville to win.
No. I'm saying underdog. Which underdog would beat me here?
I don't think it's going to be Louisville. I think if there's going to be an underdog that catches you, it's going to be Illinois at home. But I could be wrong. I could be both. You never know. I think UFC probably has a chance to win by a lot of points for sure. So let's look at the total in those games, Sean. The game in Louisville is at 67 and rising up to 67.5. And in Illinois, it's 61.5 across the board. Any love for either side?
No, I think they're set pretty good. I'd almost feel more confident about going the over with Maryland, Illinois, just because it's a lower total. And like I said, Maryland's going to score tons of points against Illinois here.
67 points is a lot of points in the NFL. That's like 10 touchdowns. I mean, that's like 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about with Central Florida and Louisville. And I'm not concerned that Central Florida is not going to put up the points. I'm concerned how many points Louisville is going to put up.
Or you just need a turnover, a missed field goal or something like that, and that total becomes very difficult to get.
The Ole Miss Louisville game was 43-24, so it was right on this total. And it's probably going to be about similar.
I'm going to put $5 on the under on the Louisville UFC game. It's actually not breaking my rules. The only thing I'm doing is I'm just really toning back the bets because I have no idea what's going on in college football. At some point, everything will snap in and work like it normally does. But right now, it is on tilt, and it is giving me the middle finger. And, well, I have nothing to do but accept it. All right. So that's what I'm looking at there. In terms of the public and what they're doing as far as the totals in those two college games, if you hold on one second, I'll be able to tell you right there. In the two college games on the totals, the public is predominantly backing the over, and about 58% of the people of the money is on the over in the Louisville and UCF game. So I'm against the money right now. And on the Illinois-Maryland game, again, most of the money this time around there is under, almost 70 cents on the dollar on the under in the Maryland-Illinois game. So that's what's out there if you're thinking about doing either one.
Yeah. Like I said, if I had to go the over, I would go Maryland, Illinois over. It's a little lower, and I expect Maryland to put up a ton of points.
I'm going to take Alabama tomorrow no matter what, so then both Sean and I will owe you a thank you, Drew.
Yeah, see, Alabama's probably going to cover that game, but that's one I'm just going to stay away. And I know that this ain't going to win Drew over, but do not like Alabama. They're just so much better than everybody else. It kind of ruins college football.
And not so much better. They haven't won every national championship.
Feels like it.
Feels like
them,
okay.
Them and Clemson, but Clemson won't be winning it this year.
No, they won't be. Their quarterback's not as good as the one that's playing in Jacksonville. I know a lot of people thought that it wouldn't be that big of a downgrade, but apparently they were wrong. Kind of like me and my college football picks. All right, so baseball. Colorado and Washington. In Washington, you got Jermaine Marquez versus Gray. Good pitching matchup there, Sean. Is there any chance that you'll take the Washington squad, or are you going to take the Colorado squad?
I would lean Colorado here with Marquez going, but I'm not going to play him with Colorado on the road. I just don't want any parts of it, really.
Yeah, they've killed me against the Braves a couple times.
Yeah, and they won a couple against the Phillies, too. So they are getting better on the road. And I'd prefer Marquez. Colorado on the road, it still gets me. So I'm going to just lean Colorado here.
Well, the right bet is Washington. They have the power ranking advantage. They have the run line advantage. Simulator says that they win this game, and you're getting a plus line. So I have enough going on tonight that I won't bet Washington in this spot. But if I were going to take a spot, this would be one that I would want to take the home team and the plus line. I feel like that's a good deal for you. And then as far as the money is concerned, let's go ahead and look at who the bettors are backing in this game. You have, hold on one second. There it is, the Nationals and the Rockies right now. The money is backing the Nationals. About 60 cents on the dollar is backing the Washington baseball team. Cleveland against the New York Yankees. Sean, what do you think about that?
Well, the Orioles got the Yankees yesterday. Like I said, I just couldn't pull the trigger.
Well, I said it, that they were going to get them. You said you couldn't do it.
I said I couldn't pull the trigger, but I wanted to. I used the wrong word. I said there was value in the Orioles, which, is a joke, but there actually was last night.
Well, I mentioned that the pitching matchup that the kid came from the Tampa Bay organization, and the one time he faced the Yankees before, he pitched really well.
That's a loss that's really going to cost the Yankees. Here, I had to pass. I couldn't really trust Corey Kluber, and I didn't trust Cleveland to beat the Yankees, so not enough to entice me there.
Well, the bettors trust both because they're going to bet the Yankees to the tune of 80 cents on the dollar, and almost 56% of the tickets are going to back the New York Yankees. I'm not backing the Yankees tonight. I feel like they do have an advantage over Cleveland, both in terms of power ranking and run line, but it's not a minus 190 for the Yankees. It probably should be more like minus 160, 165. So you're paying too much for the Yankees tonight. If you like him, go ahead and play it. Minnesota versus Toronto Blue Jays. This is one of the games that I'll be putting into my two-team parlay, which I'm kind of surprised, again, that these two teams combined for a plus line in a parlay. But Minnesota should get pretty much pounded by Toronto here. Toronto has an enormous run line advantage. They have a really strong power ranking advantage, and they're one of the top teams according to the simulator tonight with a chance to win. Sean, are you going to play the Blue Jays? So
I'm going to add Toronto to a three-team parlay that I'm going to put $20 on. So we both need them tonight, and they should. They got all, like you said, they got all the advantages here. They're going hot. Minnesota's not. Toronto needs a game. Minnesota don't.
I don't really buy into that team need a game. Teams don't need a game stuff.
Well,
I just feel like they have the advantages. They have better players. They got the pitching matchup advantage. They're at home. They should probably win. And I can combine them with another team that should probably win too and get a pretty good run line. So I feel like guys go out, they try to make their contract. No one's going out there and saying, screw it, I want to go back to the hotel room.
Yeah, it's true. It's just that
Toronto's waiting, I guess.
Well, Toronto will use their better pitchers and stuff like that. Minnesota has a lot of young kids in there. You know, it's kind of like the Cubs yesterday where they're 7-0 lead. They're just bringing in scrubs there, leaving the Phillies put up, 18 runs or whatever the heck it was.
Smoked them. And speaking of your Phillies, they travel up I-95 to face the New York Mets. And folks are all over Zach Wheeler because they don't feel like, maybe they'll score 17 again against T. John Walker. What do you think?
Yeah, so there's a lot of value here, I think. Zach Wheeler, Phillies against Walker.
Do you think there's value with a negative line?
I'm just thinking minus 130. I think it should actually be a little higher than that. So I'm going to take the Phillies at minus 130 here.
You're going to take the Phillies minus 130. 30. As I look at the matchup, the Mets have the matchup advantage in terms of scoring runs and playing better at home than Philadelphia does on the road. My concern for you would be, Sean, that this game goes to the 6th or 7th inning. The Mets are losing 2-1, 3-1. That Philadelphia bullpen comes in and blows you up.
Yeah, I want the Phillies to get to 5 and Wheeler to hold them to 0 or 1, and then we have a 75% chance to hold on there.
Yeah, because that would be my concern. As far as the betting public is concerned, they have a different set of standards on this game. As I mentioned, they're all over Philadelphia in this spot to the tune of 85 cents on the dollar. The next game on the docket is the Pittsburgh and the Miami Marlins down in Miami. Will Crow versus Hernandez. Sean, you feeling a little Miami? You feeling a little piratey?
No, there's too many games, too much things going on tonight. I think this is one of those like 1-800-NEED-HELP, stay awake games.
I'm going to go back to the other day when there was a game and you said that, and I was like, I think this might be and I don't want to say the word, but this one might be
really
the game of the night on the board.
So you're going to take the Pirates?
Nope.
You're going to take the Marlins giving up a run and a half?
I'm going to take the Marlins giving up a run and a half. Will Crow.
With that offense, though.
Will Crow has faced Miami. He's faced them. He hasn't made it past 3 1/3 innings against Miami in 2 outings. He's given up 10 hits and 10 runs in 6 innings. They have absolutely smoked him. There's a huge run line differential advantage for Miami. I mean, Miami's been playing with a third-rate offense since the trade deadline. Pittsburgh's been trading with one all year long. I didn't feel like I was going to do any more run lines this year, but this game will be decided by more than 2 runs no matter which side wins, I feel. And I can get plus 127. So I'm going to take plus 120. That number is actually dropping, Sean. That's because other people are on this game. So I'm going to go. I got 130 in my DraftKings account just before we came on air. So that's what I'm doing. Minus 1.5, the Miami Marlins in a game that could be 3 or 4 runs to their favor very early.
Is that a $20 one?
I'm going to put $20 on that one. Yep.
I have a hard time giving up a run and a half with a bad offensive team.
Well, hopefully the pitcher is like Will Crow. I'm telling you, man, they're going to whack that guy around a little bit.
Hopefully the history is the same way tonight, and same thing happens.
Yeah, they're going to get to him. I'm telling you right now. Next game, the Dodgers versus Castillo. Is this a game for you, Sean, where you might do the first inning no runs?
No, I wouldn't do that because Castillo sometimes struggles in the first inning. Even Buehler every now and then struggles in the first inning. I would not do that. What I did do is I added the Dodgers to my 3-team parlay here with Buehler going, and Castillo's been shaky again. And the Reds have just been shaky altogether. So Buehler minus 180. I'm adding the Dodgers to that parlay.
Well, you can actually as low as minus 166. To me, there's enough value in just taking the Dodgers as is at minus 166. So there's $20 on me for the Dodgers, and 93 cents on the dollar is chasing LA here. Kind of worries me a little bit, but when you look at those run line differentials and you look at, just all of the numbers say that the Dodgers win this game. I only need them to score one more run than Cincinnati. I feel like they will. It's a hitter's ballpark. They have as many hitters as do the Reds, probably more. So at minus 166, Sean, it's in my wheelhouse, and I'm getting Walker Buehler. I'll take it. So put 20 on the Dodgers for me.
Okay.
Tampa Bay and Detroit. Tampa Bay came through for me yesterday. They might be a team that you want to put in your minus 200 parlay, as they have the same advantages they had last night, except Detroit might be sending a little better pitcher to the mound in Casey Mize than they did last night. And you have Patino pitching for Tampa Bay. Is this your other?
This is my third one. I add them. Mize is the wild card, but he usually still gives up runs. And with Tampa's offense, he's going to give up at least 3 or 4 runs today. And Detroit's offense on the road is not good. So I added Toronto, Dodgers, Tampa, and I get plus 226.
Plus 226. All right. Well,
I'll put $20 on that.
I hope all 3 of those teams come through for you, Sean. I have avoided this game today. Casey Mize is capable of pitching a pretty good game, so it can be a low-scoring game going into the late innings, and then anything could happen. I do agree with you, though, that Tampa Bay probably should win this game fairly easily. as far as the betting public is concerned, 92 cents on every dollar is following Tampa Bay. So they're not really chasing the Casey Mize pitcher on the mound tonight. Baltimore and Boston minus 320, 315. Sean, do you feel like just adding them to your parlay to get an extra plus 60?
No, that's just no. I even see it as much as minus 350. I mean, they should kill them. You got Sale versus Aiken, but it's just that's too steep. I mean, I don't even know what I would get if I added them, but it's just
you probably, since it's a 14 parlay, my guess is it would add about 60 to 70 cents. That's my guess.
Yeah, well, I'll do it quick, but I'm not going to add it. I like these three, and it's just not enough value to add to the parlay to take it.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's any value. I mean, I think it actually would add a ton of value considering they're minus 320, and it's the fourth of the 4 teams. But in any case, go ahead and look at it. I think you'll be surprised at how much it adds.
Plus 320 instead of plus 226.
So it added almost 100. So that's like getting the Boston at almost even money. So you have the Red Sox are taking in almost all of the money on that bet. Tonight, the White Sox travel down to Texas. Dylan Cease versus Hearn. The White Sox tend to do pretty well against left-handed pitching, but this is a game that if there is a home team tonight with a big plus line that you want to bet, I would say Texas is that team, Sean.
Yeah, it could be. I think the White Sox are going to win. I just didn't find any value in to do it. And sometimes when the White Sox go on the road, it's just a little sketchy there. So,
well, actually, Texas of late has been better at home than the White Sox have been on the road. And when you look at their run line differential, it's not all that far apart. So the way I look at this game the White Sox shouldn't be minus 195 in this spot. The White Sox should probably, and I think they're kind of climbing. It's up as high as minus 210. I feel like they should be much like the Yankees were, about minus 165 is about where they should be. So you're paying way too much to get the White Sox in this spot for a game that could be won by the Texas team. That Hearn's actually pitched better than Dylan Cease has of late.
I will say FanDuel has a boost, and I did fall for it for $15. They had the Phillies, the White Sox, and the Giants all to win tonight. They took it from plus 320 to plus 400.
Well, good luck. I hope that the White Sox do win for you. That was the one home team on the schedule tonight that I thought you have a chance to collect a nice ticket from, because I do feel like the pitching matchup is slightly in Texas's favor, and some of the metrics that I look at also lean Texas. So it's a game that there's no way they should be minus 200, the White Sox tonight. Chicago Cubs visiting their neighbors to the north, the Milwaukee Brewers. Zach Davies, who tends to get roughed up against Hauser, who throws really hard. Obviously Milwaukee has big advantages on the Cubs across the board. This is game 2 in my parlay, Sean. So when I put Milwaukee together with the Toronto Blue Jays, I get plus 104. So I'm going to put 20 on Milwaukee and Toronto, 2 home teams with huge advantages that should be able to close the show and provide a plus line for me.
And you got plus 104?
Hey, can you believe it?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Milwaukee would just be a parlay team. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't throw them in my parlay. I just, the Cubs burned me yesterday. Now they'll come back and do the opposite. But Milwaukee should put up 15 runs today.
18. So you have
once you get past Davies too, who you even said shaky. Once they get to that bullpen, I mean, they're just bringing in kids. They're just giving up. I mean, it turns into softball. It feels like.
Yeah, I don't see them I don't see them. And if they have the lead, their bullpen is just incredible. So, and almost 100% of the money is on Milwaukee too. Seattle versus Kansas City. This is a game I feel like, Sean, you might be able to get a plus line. Another home team, Singer versus Flexen. Kansas City plays much better at home than they do on the road.
Yeah, Singer is not pitching though. John Hesley is.
Oh, so he's not in there? That's
he
wrong.
has not pitched this year. That might even be his major league debut. I don't know who that is.
I've never heard of him myself.
So that's one I gotta stay away from.
Yeah, I would say that if you don't know who the starting pitcher is, probably is a pretty good bet to stay away from, or probably a sound idea to stay away from that game altogether. But the public staying away from that game, Sean? No, they're back in Seattle tonight to a tune of about 63 cents on the dollar. However, more bets than that. So maybe some people are biting on that. They do see some value in Kansas City. Houston at home, Madison Bumgarner. Houston likes to hit lefties. You think but Madison's pitched a little bit better. Do you feel like you might want to take a swing with Arizona on the road?
No, no.
Why not?
I don't know. I should.
Where's your courage?
Houston drops these games all the time, but no, just because of Arizona's offense and Houston should score runs no matter who's pitching. But no, not enough value to take Arizona for me.
Not enough value at all. I don't think there's any value.
Ever value in Arizona? No.
No, probably not. There's probably not any value in that at all. They're like the anti-Bitcoin or whatever of baseball. So, yeah, and it looks like the public agrees with you. 93 cents on the dollar is facing the Houston squad. Maybe a team you throw in there, your parlay if you want. San Diego and St. Louis, Sean. This is a game I think you're probably going to be surprised to see that more tickets are on San Diego, but the money is heavily, heavily, heavily on the Cardinals.
Yeah, and I like the Cardinals here. You get minus 125. You might even find better than that. I'm gonna take it. I like the pitching matchup here. I like the Cardinals at home. Padres are one of those teams struggling to get to the finish line.
They won 2 in a row. I mean,
against
a much tougher San Francisco team.
I feel like that's one of those, though. It's kind of like the Yankees. The Giants kind of burned themselves out there a little bit, so they were due to lose a couple. But Padres going to the road against the Cardinals. I'm taking the Cardinals here.
All right. How much?
30.
So for the Cardinals, you can get minus 118. It looks like is the best you're going to get, Sean. Most of the money, 70% of the money does back the Cardinals here. Oakland and Los Angeles Angels. Angels have no idea who they're going to throw on the mound out there today. So you can get the Angels with a plus line, Sean. And this, believe it or not, it's not that big of a difference between those two teams. It's not a 50-50 game, but it's probably a 51-49 game in favor of Oakland. So you do get value in taking the Angels, but not if you don't know who's pitching.
Yeah, you don't know who's pitching, and Cole Irvin sometimes can pitch really good games. So I'm going to stay away from this one.
So then the last thing on the ticket tonight on the docket, the schedule, Atlanta and the San Francisco Giants. Giants are reeling a little bit. Ian Anderson's a pretty good pitcher versus Webb, a lefty, 2 righties. I feel like maybe Atlanta can jump up and win this one, Sean, at plus 144.
No, I think it's the other way. I think San Fran rebounds and wins here. Minus 180 is what I see, and I'm sure it's too high for me to take them on their own, and I'm not giving up a run and a half.
Mm-hmm. Well, most of the money is backing most of the tickets are on the Giants, Sean. More than 60% of the tickets are on the Giants, but most of the money is actually on the Braves. So the so-called smart money back in the Atlanta Braves squad. I've got all my plays in for the day, so I'm not going to do anything else. But I might be inclined to take Atlanta in a plus line here tonight. I don't think the pitching matchup favors San Francisco that much. They are kind of struggling to score runs lately. And baseball teams seem to be streaky. If they tend to play well for a long time, and then once they start to kind of stumble a little bit, they tend to muddle along for a little bit before they get it back together again. I think San Francisco is in one of those muddle it along type situations right now. And I don't know, man, my screen's jumping all over the place. Marco likes Atlanta plus 1.5. I think you can be all right just taking them straight up to win, maybe, Marco. I wouldn't be surprised if they go ahead and get the job done. But I think 1.5, I would be willing to do that. Sean, how about you?
See, I never liked the plus 1.5 because what are the odds of Braves are going to lose by 1 and you're going to win that bet? If they cover, they're probably going to win, and I would take the value, like you're saying, with the plus 155, plus 160, whatever you can find.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. He says, I have a question. I have a $200 free bet. Terms are the bet has to be minus 150 or above. Is that increasing or decreasing? I think minus 150 means you got to go minus 150 or lower odds.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And I would do something. I mean, it was just me. I like college football. I would do something tomorrow with your college football. You get tons of games to pick from. You can put a bunch of teams that are going to win in, or you could even check out Moneyline Madmen where I put up that halftime and full-time bet. It's only plus 149, but you put $200 on it, you're making $300, almost $400. So, well, no, $298.
It has to win though, Sean.
Yeah, but I mean, if you see the teams that I have on that ticket, they got to be leading at halftime and they got to be leading at the end of the game. They should be no doubt doing that. So.
So like Alabama?
No, I don't have Alabama. Just I feel like Alabama would be, one, but they're going to Florida. You just never know. That's their first real game of the year that they're going to play. We can talk about it more tomorrow on what I have on there, but if you want to see it now, you can go to Moneyline Madmen. It's there.
Yeah, you can check that out over there, Sean. I agree with you. And if folks want to do that, I think we put over on our site too, on the Moneyline Madmen. I put up there a couple of three golfers. I think the lowest one was plus 230, Sean. And I think right now all three of them are in a position to actually cash. So hopefully that proves to be the case by Sunday. That would be a nice three of them combined should be, I think they'd be like plus 800 if the three of them all were to find their way in just into the top 40. But it looks to me like right now all three of them have a good shot to make the cut. Russell Knox at the moment. Let me see real quick here. Cameron Percy, he's tied for 29th. Russell Knox is tied for 20th. And the other guy, Hahn, I think is tied for 62nd right now. So he's probably borderline make the cut, miss the cut. But the other two guys look they're in very good position to close that out and be in the top 20 as well. So hopefully you guys went ahead and did that. Drew says he's going to go check out your lock for Saturday.
Hey, I've done this starting last year, about halfway. I started doing it, and I did it last week, and it's been pretty effective. It's easier to do that, right? Like the golf. You've been really effective with the golf, and you're doing the top 40. You're not going for the winners. You're going for top 40s, top 20s, top 10. So sometimes that's easier to find that other stuff than just flat out picking winners, because that's just But you can find value in it.
Oh yeah, well I think there's value in some of this stuff out there. Golf. Horses for courses, guys in good form. I have a formula that works out pretty well. All right, Sean, so that wraps up Friday. We'll be back tomorrow early in the morning. Unfortunately, Sean is a dictator.
But I'm giving you a
little bit later. I get a little extra sleep tomorrow.
Yeah, I got to work in the morning, so we'll come on and be about 8:35.
And that's Eastern time, right?
That's Eastern time, yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll come back on Saturday night. What would be 9:30 p.m. Eastern?
It's probably 9:30 tomorrow night to talk about week 2 in the NFL. I'm going to remain disciplined this week, Sean. I'll make sure of that. If I have to write a ribbon on my finger or just make a handmade big tattoo that says "Be disciplined," I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, folks, everybody head on over to Moneyline Madmen. I will put up sometime in the next 24 hours. I know I said this yesterday, but I have to do it before week 2. I will put up the week 2 power rankings along with the numbers for the NFL. So you can go ahead and follow along and create your own lines if you read that first article. And then, of course, Sean will post our picks there. You can follow us at Moneyline Madman on Twitter and on Facebook. Most importantly, tell your friends about us if you find good value in what we have to bring to the table here.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else, Sean, before we go?
No, that's it. I'll be studying more college football. I like a couple underdogs that I can't believe the line tomorrow. So we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yep, we'll talk about college football tomorrow. I'll maybe have one pick. And if I do, it'll be $5.
You see how excited I am to talk college, and you're like, let's just go to the NFL.
I mean, I'm not. The thing, Sean, is I've been around long enough to know, and I've talked about this in games all the time. I talk about revision, right? Revision to the mean. I know that based upon the way my system works, I'm going to hit probably 52, 53% of my games. Right now, I'm a little under that. So I know that the revision is going to, and all of it has because of college football. Otherwise, I'd be above water in terms of picks and ROI. So I know that the other side of that is coming eventually. And when it comes, that means I'm going to get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games in a row. I'm going to hit 8 out of them, 10, or I might hit a streak where I get 10 games right in a row. I know it's coming. It's just a matter of when. And until I get there, I'm just going to be really cautious and get $5. And once I see things start to heat up and the numbers start to reflect what I see on my Excel sheet, I'll just play cautiously until then.
Yeah, good idea.
All right, Sean, until we meet again in less than, in like 18 hours. As always, folks, we hope that all your tickets are winners. And make sure you head over to visit our sponsor, Horse Racing Radar. Enter their contest tomorrow. See if you have a chance to win $100. I will be live emceeing the event between
Rich will be live. Rich will be live all day on YouTube tomorrow. So
24 hours, 30,
if you want your dose of Rich, just turn on YouTube, Moneyline Madmen or Horse Racing Radar.
I saw that YouTube is actually dropping precipitously since I got out. Google's just tanking. All right, Sean. As always, folks, may all your bets be winners. We'll see you tomorrow.